Okay, I'm about to draw some number lines, and they're not going to be perfect, but I think I can get my point across so students can understand what I'm doing. So here I'm making sure I'm making these number lines equal, because the key is whenever you're thinking about fractions, remember fractions are less than a whole. Like for the most part, unless you have a fraction that's over the whole, but like for example, if I have 4 over 4, 4 over 4 equals what? 1 whole. Now, I can have 4 over 4 and then have a whole and 1/4. I showed you that previously. So that means that's more than a whole, but the examples I'm doing all are less than a whole, okay? So here I have 0, so I have 0, I have 0, I have 0, okay? If that's 4 over 4, 2 over 2 equals what? 1 whole, of course. And then the other one, these are all related fractions. They're related, like they're related. So that's that 4 over 4, that's that 2 over 2. And then 8 over 8 equals what? 1 whole, of course. So then they are related fractions. So I always teach students, once you figure out how they're all related. So I'm going to go here. Normally I would do my first one, my first number line actually with the halfway point. So my halfway point, I could fold it or whatever just to get in my mind. All this will be kind of my halfway point. So notice how they're all lined up. All right. So I have halfway of 0 and 2 over 2 is 1/2. Okay. So halfway of 0 and 4 over 4 is what? 2 over 4. That's halfway. Halfway of 0 and 8 over 8 is what? 4 over 8. That's my halfway. These are all equivalent fractions, okay? They're equivalent. So when I say equivalent, that means they are equal. They are equal. 2/4, 1/2, 4/8. They're all equal, okay? So if I look here and I say 0, okay, what's in between 0 and 2/4? There's a what? 1/4. So I have 0, 1/4, 2/4, and then what's in between 2/4 and 4/4? 3/4. So I have 0, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. So then I look here, 0, what's in between 1/2? Guess what? I have a half. I don't even have to do anything else. 1/2 and then 2 over 2. Let me keep going. Look here. 0, what's before that 4/8? What is less than 4/8? We have a what? We got a 1/8, yes.
2/8.
2/8.
3/8.
3/8. So what is more than 4 over 8?
5/8.
5/8. And I'm trying to make them all equal because they have to be equal. 6/8.
And 7/8.
And 7/8. And then I have my whole 8 over 8. So when I start asking questions like, and look, that's the thing too, like you have to make sure that students understand or your child understands. If I start asking questions like, is 1/4 less than 4/8? They need to know that 1/4 is definitely less than 4/8, because if you see how it's lined up, 4/8 is it's halfway to 8/8. 1/4 is less than the halfway point. But if I say 3/4 is 3/4 less than 1/2, the answer is no. 3/4 is not less than 1/2, because 3/4 is closer to 4/4, and 1/2 is halfway to 2 over 2, which is 1 whole. So lining it up and trying to make sure they understand what it means whenever you line it up, and how they're equivalent to each other, and where they fall on the number line determines their placement with if they're more or less, is very, very, very important for students to know at this age, especially in 3rd grade. So that's one thing they could do. Now, if I do, these are related fractions. 3 over 3 equals what? 1 whole. Trying to make it the same. 1 whole. 6 over 6 equals 1 whole. Related fractions, right? 0 and 0. So right now, I know I'm looking for where does 1/3 and 2/3 fall? In between this, right? So I'm going to say 1/3 is here, and I'm going to say 2/3 is here. Here, down here. I know that if I'm looking at 2/3, so 2 times 2 is what? 4. 3 times 2 is what? 6. So 4, 6. I know they supposed to be like the same spot, right? Because they equivalent to each other, right? Yes. So I know, at least I know one spot, 5, 6. Then what becomes in between those? What have to come?
1, 6.
1, 6, and what else?
2, 6.
2, 6. 2, 6 got to be equivalent to that 1/3, right? Because 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. That's 2, 6. So I know where that spot is. That's 1, 6, 2, 6, and 3, 6. So I know my related fractions, okay? And even still, students need to understand that 3, 6 equals the what? That's the halfway point, right? So that's the halfway point. So wherever it is, that would be considered more than halfway point, but there's no halfway point here. But you know that 2/3 is larger than what? 3, 6. Because it's closer to 1 than 3, 6. So that's why I tell students, just because you're in 3rd grade, don't let go of number lines. Number lines are very, very important. And even later on, 4th and 5th grade, you can still use number lines to understand fractions. I have other lessons on fractions, but I'm going to stop for today.